Hey guys, it's me, Shane Torres, deviant, lover, oral enthusiast. Look, I'm not one to complain about oral sex. I think it's rude, but this was a pretty awkward BJ. Every once in a while in life, you will have a breakup with someone who was the first person you saw an actual future with. I remember the first time she told me that she loved me. We were at her place, made love all over her living room floor, like a Bright Eyes song. And then I heard her say, "I love you," for the very first time. And then I pretended to be asleep, which turned out to be a red flag. So look, everybody has a bottom in their life. I've had several. This was like my fourth one. Maybe some of the reasons it's hard is because that former girlfriend is around all the time because they're best friends with your roommate and they live 5 minutes from you. And maybe they also work with you. They do work with you. And then maybe that person starts seeing someone who is better than you in every single way. Better looking, better job, better apartment, more money. It's kind of like being in a haunted house of love, except you would welcome death at this point. Needless to say, it was a very sad time in my life. And I find like oftentimes out of a tragedy, people will use that as a reason to better themselves or take risks they haven't before. You're like, well, I'm not gonna date that kind of person anymore. I'm gonna date the opposite kind of person. And that's what I did. I met a woman who in her own right is a very good person, and I'm sure still is. And her and I are seeing but she was mean. The first girl was sweet. The second girl threw water on me because I slept in. One night, my rebound girl and I were fooling around. She was doing the most generous thing you can do for a lover. She's on my lower mouth. It's a blowjob. We're all adults here. You better be an adult if you're watching this. And if you're my nephew, do not watch this. And yeah, I was on her south mouth too. So she's down there, giving it the old college try, quite enthusiastically. I'm pretty sure she didn't go to college. This was not an Ivy League blowjob. This was a state school. I've been in this desert all summer. Someone give me something to suck on. And nobody's ever looked at me, even if they have thought I was cute, which is like, can't wait to get that in my mouth. It's awesome, and fully appreciate this. I feel like my toenails are about to pop off. And in the middle of it, she pulls me out of her mouth and she just goes, "So I was thinking about the JonBenét Ramsey murder." You're just thinking about it now? JonBenét Ramsey, you don't even have to Google it, I'll tell you, was a little girl pageant queen that was murdered and they never solved who did it. I don't think this is funny that she died. It's very sad, but that's what this woman thought was pillow talk. And I, don't know what to do. It's already like, I'd be like, well, when I think, back in. Like, it's an interesting conversation, so I kind of want to answer. Anytime I'm about to getting close to, we don't need to do that. We got to cut that. She's like, it was probably her dad. Ha! And what's worse than being interrupted a bunch? And look, I am not complaining about getting head. That is probably the rudest thing you can do outside of telling someone they should tip more when they buy dinner. Tips. Enough about tips. By the way, this was a thing we had never, ever discussed. This wasn't like, oh yeah, we were checking out of a supermarket and there was a National Enquirer. Nothing. True crime was not in the ether then like it is now. So she's down there saying and doing all this gnarly shit. And look, I don't want to kink shame anybody. If you need to get your balls whipped by a golf club, I don't care, as long as everybody's down with it. What does it say about me that she thought she could just start this? I know some of you are like, well, what do you talk about down there? Yeah, he probably seems like the guy who likes to fucking talk about murder. I'm not a creep. You're nuts. I don't mean that, but I do. Leave a message in the comments. Tell me if I'm crazy. And look, I could have stopped her. I could have. So finally, we solved the case of the erect penis. Next day, I wake up, go to work with my other ex, and the blowjob lady, the blowjob lady, starts texting me pictures of JonBenét Ramsey. You know the one that we all see where she's just like, ah. Well, this is unsettling at the very least. Then she starts sending me pictures of her makeup done like JonBenét Ramsey, side by side. What is happening? I dated her for 6 months. Sometimes you just need a win. And that's the story of the JonBenét BJ. Craziest fucking beej I've ever gotten. How do you say this? Quite honestly, the best head I have ever gotten in my entire life. All right, guys, I'm Shane Torres. Enjoy this Blue Apron ad. You know.